Podcast Network Asia.
You are listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast, where we feature timely and relevant discussions on the Philippine stock market and the economy in the hope of providing you investing and trading guidance. Here's your host.
Hi investors, this is Anjz from First Metro Securities. If you're looking for trade ideas or wondering which stocks to watch out for, then you're in the right place. Today on Market Bites, I'll walk you through some key points from our latest company update on Puregold Price Club Inc. We are maintaining our buy call for Puregold with target price raised to 49 pesos as we shift the valuation base to next year. Puregold reported 1H25 net income of 5.3 billion pesos, up 7.1% year-on-year, in line with our estimates. The growth was driven by record consolidated revenues of 109.9 billion pesos, up by 11.6% year-on-year. This was supported by blended SSSG of 5.8% and resilient consumer demand amid easing inflation. Here are 3 key takeaways from the 1H25 results. First, macroeconomic conditions were supportive. Easing inflation, particularly rice deflation, lifted consumer purchasing power and supported top-line growth. Second, Puregold hit record 1H25 sales, which was driven by ticket size growth in Puregold-only stores, which was up by 5.3%, and traffic surge in SNR outlets, up by 14.9%. And third, management turned more optimistic, raising their 2025 consolidated revenue growth target to 7.9%, citing strong first half momentum. Now, let's break down some critical data points to keep an eye on. First, margins are looking solid. Gross margins are already ahead of full-year guidance, with Puregold only at 17% and SNR at 23.1%, both exceeding full-year targets. Second, OPEX is rising with store expansion. For context, mature stores operate at around 12% OPEX to sales, while new stores are at greater than 13.6% and are expected to normalize in 1 to 2 years. Third, the wage hike impact is manageable. Salary costs represent around 4.5% of OPEX to sales, with recent NCR wage hike adding only 0.1% to OPEX to sales in both 2025 and 2026. And fourth, there's a bit of FX tailwind. A stronger peso supports SNR margins with cost pass-through mechanisms in place. To get more bullish, we seek evidence of the following: a wider market share lead versus competition, margins to reach the higher end of management's guidance at 16.5% for Puregold-only stores and 22.5% for SNR stores, and a higher payout, which will help rebuild investor confidence and sustain re-rating of the stock. Of course, there are still risks, such as worsening economic conditions affecting household sentiment and income, margin deterioration due to a weaker peso, lower supplier discounts and/or higher OPEX, and intensifying competition. Once again, that's a buy call for Puregold at 49 pesos target price. That wraps up today's Market Bites. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at First Metro Securities and on TikTok at FirstMetroSec for more updates. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this has been helpful.
Thanks for listening to First Metro Securities Philippine Stock Market Weekly podcast. Don't forget to follow us to get first dibs on our new episodes. For more up-to-date market news and info, exclusive content, and the opportunity to connect with your fellow Filipino investors and traders, join facebook.com/groups/FirstMetroSec and be part of the First MetroSec family.
FirstMetroSec is providing this podcast as a general market commentary. Reference to any specific security, product, or entity do not constitute as an offer or a solicitation of an offer to buy or sell any financial instruments or to participate in any particular trading strategy. The statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by the hosts are subject to change without notice, and FirstMetroSec is under no obligation to update, amend, change, or correct any of the statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed. The statements, comments, views, and opinions expressed by the guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of FirstMetroSec. FirstMetroSec disclaims any liability arising from reliance on or reference to any information obtained in this podcast.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.